Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to another weekly recap. And this is going to be basically weekly recap number 20 and 21 because I did not post a recap last week. So I'm going to update you guys on the past 2 weeks basically. And I just have not felt in the right headspace to post a weekly recap until today. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better or feeling a little bit better. I have just been having a hard time mentally lately within my business. And if you are a business owner, you know that like the mental part of being an entrepreneur is the hardest part of all of this in general. And so I don't know, transparently, I've just been struggling over the past few weeks. So really all of July was a really big struggle for me. But I have been able to do a lot of reflection over the past 2 weeks and really try and identify like, okay, why do I feel like I'm in such a funk? Why am I feeling this way? You know, and it's hard because you can't always identify these things right off the bat. And as somebody who likes to push down feelings and push down problems, it can be really hard to just be like, all right, you need to just sit and think about like why you are feeling like this and what can we do to move forward? Because that's the biggest thing. Like you can't let yourself stay in this headspace for too long, or it can really keep you stuck for a long time. And so I just did a lot of reflection, chatting with my husband about like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm dealing with. Like, what are some things I can do to try and move past this? Because for most of the month, I was just kind of internalizing it all, and just it's hard when you're in it and you're so close to it and you've done things one way and you know you need to try things a new way, and it can just be hard when it's just yourself. So anyways, getting that outside perspective was really helpful for me, and so just got some good outside perspective on like, hey, this is the problem. Here are some new ideas to try and fix the problem, correct the problem. And so with brainstorming on that, kind of developing a new idea, some new ways to get out there and connect with people, I've been feeling a bit better, not feeling like I'm in as much of a funk. So it's like, okay, I feel like I'm moving into the right direction. So yeah, and I know I'm being like super vague on all of this, but yeah, I'm just having to try some new things in my business because the methods that I've used over the past year to get leads, create leads, sorry if you can hear Murph in the background downstairs, those same methods are not working anymore. So just experimenting with, okay, what are some new things I can try? How can I get out into the community more? So anyways, that is basically the gist of things. But in terms of like making this valuable for you who is listening to this, I want to encourage you to do some reflection on yourself. And maybe if you're somebody who also likes to push down problems and pretend like they don't exist, I encourage you to kind of like sit in the yuck, as I like to call it, and just be like, okay, why do I feel this way? How could I move through this? What do I need to do differently? And for some of you, it might be a matter of needing to try a new thing, get a new solution. And then for others, it might be you're not taking care of yourself enough, right? Like you're not pouring into yourself. So you're just running yourself thin. You're running yourself ragged, taking care of others, but you're not pouring into your own cup. That is the trap a lot of coaches fall into. And so for everybody, it's going to be different, depending on what you're dealing with. But doing that self-reflection, that self-awareness is really important. And I encourage you to share it with a friend, share it with a loved one, and be like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Can you help me brainstorm ideas on identifying the problem and like what I could do to find a solution, right? Because sometimes that if we just keep it to ourselves, we just get stuck in the same thought patterns and stuff. And getting a different perspective is extremely valuable, even if that person is a friend or a loved one, or, if you have a mentor, your mentor, things like that. So I think that's the biggest takeaway I want you to get from this episode is that if you are going through a tough time, hard time mentally, do some reflection on why you think that is. What is the problem? Have a conversation with a friend or loved one about brainstorming, and even just, sharing just to share a lot of times can feel really good too. And just knowing that we are human beings having a human experience, and we're not always going to feel really good, feel on top of the world, right? And so trying to reduce any shame that you might be giving yourself around like, oh my gosh, why am I feeling this way? Like, based on XYZ, I should be feeling perfectly fine and happy with my situation. Like, so don't shame yourself for feeling some type of way if you are feeling some type of way, okay? But it is August 1st, so we have a new month ahead of us, and I hope that you are having a good week, a good start to your month, and I will talk to you in the next recap next week, hopefully. Yeah, I appreciate you for listening to this, and hopefully you got some value out of it. And if we have not connected before, if you're somebody who listens to these episodes but we've never spoken, would love for you to send me a message on Instagram and just say like, you're a podcast listener, you enjoy listening to these. I would appreciate that. I want to connect with those who listen to this. So my IG handle is Coach Ashley 127, and the link will be in the show notes. But I hope you have a stellar weekend, and I will talk to you next time.